Hey, how's it going? Y'all caught me while I was in the middle of dancing. You can't hear the song that's playing because, copyright. Gotta, save myself. So you probably hear something completely different. But yeah, how y'all doing today? Y'all caught me jamming and opening a few packs of some Valid Smashers. But y'all been good? Yeah, I'm back now. It's been an interesting time. So from the time I recorded, just go ahead and get started with the beginning here. So basically, the last video that uploaded, probably yesterday or Saturday, depending on when this one uploads, I recorded that video back in May before I left on a work trip to Dallas to learn about some stuff for my job. And that, that has been a very, 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 very interesting story there. And I'm gonna go ahead and try to run through it as quickly as I can because it's been about a month since, around a month since that happened. So, sit back, strap in. I got a lot of updates to tell you about, and maybe I'll pull something pretty cool in this Valiant Masters thing. I'm not holding my breath though, because it's not looking very good. I mean, I got a super rare Velmonica. That's all good. And I got one more pack. Just want to do some stuff. So anyway, you guys are probably, if you've been on my on the H.U.B Games Facebook and Instagram, you probably noticed some attempts with me attempting to do some memes like this and that. But whew, it only tells a fraction of the story. And for the most part, let me go ahead and just say the work trip was great. I mean, I learned a lot about the system that we use. And in case you guys don't know, I work for a community college associate dean. I think I told y'all that in the previous video where I got the previous update video. I told y'all about me being updated to getting a raise to associate dean of the IT department. So we were out there learning about the new software system that we're using for our school. And everything was cool. I learned a lot, had a lot of fun. It was, very knowledgeable for me. It made me think about all the things I need to learn technology-wise to be better at work and possibly better at what I'm doing here at H.U.B Games. But I'm gonna start here. Okay, so Friday, which was basically the big last day, there were some events that happened. There were some conference stuff happening on Saturday, but Friday, at the end of the day, Friday, they gathered everybody at the conference together for a party. And with that party, at that party, we did a lot of things, and it was one of those things where I was with my coworkers. And we were all joking and playing. And they were like, I told them while I was out there, opportunities for me to do things that I've never done before. And little did I know that within me was the idea to ride a bull. As you can see, I make an attempt here. Yeah, so, they said I did pretty well for my first time, but, I don't know, I was trying to get the knowledge in for that. But that was Friday. So after the big party Friday, Saturday we get up, we go to more stuff, and our plane is set to leave from Memphis, from Dallas to Memphis, that afternoon. Well, that afternoon, the flights kept getting pushed back, and then eventually we got on a flight. We were actually on the plane, which is why one of this meme exists. We got on the plane. The captain, the plane backed up. The captain was like, "Hey, we're gonna be leaving out." Backed out. We're hitting the runway, and the captain comes on and he says, "Hey, everybody, it looks like there's some damage that happened with the tow bar. The tow bar being that little small device, the little small thing that's kind of emphasized in the little meme picture, or in this picture here. And it basically kind of like helps push the plane back and guide it into the gate to kind of help it work out. And it's a little thing that connects to the front landing gear. And apparently it broke in the landing gear. And so first they were going to check it from where we were before we took off, and they looked at it. They got a good look at it, and it looks, and then eventually the pilot just goes on and says, "Hey, we're going to go back. You have to go back to the terminal. Nothing we can do about it, April." So we get back in the terminal. We're thinking we're going to get back in. We'll probably have another flight. All flights to Memphis canceled. We were stuck in Dallas. That is day one. And imagine the frustration. Like, things happen. The weather. And let me go ahead and just put this out here. We tend to. Our group tends to blame American Airlines, which I made a lot of humorous jokes about that. Nah, I'm sorry. But it was a combination of things that made this so frustrating. It was the weather. Can't do nothing about it. Nothing you can do about it. The tow bar breaking. Freak accident. But it happened. But here's where things get worse. Now, for the flight home, let me go ahead and explain this one to you for the flight home. Just to let you know. So when they got the tow bar, we got to the hotel. The hotel fixed us up with fixed me and my coworkers who were there. It was 8 of us. Me, 7 women. So they were hooking us up with hotels, and apparently either the hotel got it late or the airline didn't do it right. But when we got to the hotel that they had for us, they only had 3 rooms. I was fortunate enough to get a room by myself, but that was very, very frustrating because it was like they didn't make sure that the hotel that we were supposed to go to actually had a number of rooms. And again, that could be a American problem or a problem with Expedia, one or the other. Again, frustrating day one, night over. We got stuck, weather, tow bar. Day 2, we're trying to get back. We got plans. We made plans. We are going to, well, yeah, like I said, there's nothing. Spooky dogwood. And a lot of mental millennium stuff. Anyway, again, looking at these. Day 2 of doing this, we decided we had a flight. That flight was scheduled. We were set to fly out at 9 o'clock that night, but we set ourselves up with possible standby seating. All right. So the first flight, standby seating. They started letting some folks in for standby seating, and then suddenly they closed the gate in the middle of calling my group up there to go in, and that was one flight we did not get a chance to make. The next flight that we were on standby, it got delayed. Then it started calling people on there. Oh, and I have to mention on that first one, 3 people from my group. So now we're down to 5 here. 3 people from that group got on that plane before they closed it shut and took off. The next flight, 1 person from our group was able to get on the plane and fly off and home. And while we were just left there, just looking. Finally, we got to a plane. It was near the end of the day. It was the plane, not before 9 o'clock, because we still had that one, but we were still trying our chances at these upgrades. We wanted to get home. We didn't want to be in Dallas. Dallas is a great city. Have you ever been to Texas Live? If you've been to Texas Live, you know Dallas is one cool place about Dallas. It's a great city. Nothing wrong with it, but we were trying to get home. So we get on. It's I think 2 flights before our actual scheduled flight that we have tickets for, but we were managed to get upgraded onto this flight. We got on the plane again. We were like, yes, we're going home. I mean, we had one disgruntled guy that was like cussing up a storm, and no, was that the day before? That might have been the day before where he was cussing up a storm and was angry about being stuck there. Anyway, when we got there, we got on the plane. We were on the plane. On the plane. Oh, the plane. The plane is sitting there and they're like, hey, we have a little bit of lightning in the area, so they stop loading the bags onto the plane. When the rain and lightning slows down, they'll start backing us up and we'll be able to go. Fine, you know, we saw the rain. You look out the window, it's pouring. Rain stops. They say, hey, the captain comes on and says, hey, we're gonna go ahead and start reloading the bags onto the thing. After that, you know, there's like 23 other planes waiting to fly out of Dallas. Well, we'll get in line, so they gotta start loading the planes. Somewhere between 2 to 5 minutes later, the flight attendant comes on and says, all right, we gotta deboard the plane because the pilot has timed out. What does that mean? Timed out. How do you do that? All I know is I guess he just timed out. And you know, did he do this? Is that what he did? He just hit this number, called the timeout, and went home. But he timed out. We got off the plane, and we sat and we waited and we waited, and they said, you know, they just was waiting on the pilot. So then eventually they made an announcement that our flight was canceled again. Second time we were able to board a plane and deboard a plane. And they canceled it on us. So, you know, me and the three remaining ladies, the four of us, we were like, all right, we're gonna go do some things. We're gonna go try to get us a room and you know, work on a different plan to get out, which, hold on, this is the best part, because this is where you guys get to imagine me. And if you see me, let me go ahead and get up real quick. You see this? This is belly. I'm fat and overweight. You can hear in a lot of my videos, you hear me breathing like my name is Darth Vader when it's quiet. Fat and out of shape. But we got like halfway through the airport to try to find where we can catch a cab or get an Uber out of there. We hear on the thing, hey, those of you who just left the flight to Memphis, come on back. We're gonna start boarding soon. So we ran halfway through that terminal. Y'all, I ran. We made it in time, but it was hard. Breathing was hard. It was like, you know, I shouldn't be running like this, but I did. And when we got there was a group of people standing around, and it was like, hey, how come we're not boarding yet? So I go up and I ask, hey, are we about to board soon? And they hit me with well, not quite. And so they made the announcement, hey, we're still waiting on, I'm trying to think if they were still waiting on they were still waiting on a pilot, or they were still waiting on the crew. Around there was between the pilot and the crew, because again, the crew timed out. Because when the pilot timed out, that crew left. And so when we got the call, I think that crew came back. So they were still looking for a pilot. That's what it was. They were still looking for a pilot. And that crew, that flight crew that was there, they came back and they were still standing there looking like, hey, what we gonna do? So we waited about 30 minutes, more or less. And I go back up there and I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's about to happen? And they announced that, hey, the flight crew has timed out. They hit that button. Not, you know, they just, come on. They blew the whistle. And so I ran my fat ass, excuse me, everybody, for watching. I ran my fat ass down there for nothing. No, not help. But it's okay. Got there. I survived. Whew. But then, you know, we had to find another hotel. This time because it wasn't like a tow bar thing. Although, I like to argue that we were on the plane. But again, it was the weather, and because it was an act of God, we didn't even bother asking, you know, American if they was gonna get us room. Because at that point, once they said the flight crew, they had no more flight crew, we saw on the app that all the other flights from Dallas to Memphis were canceled. So it was a wrap. There was no going home that night. So we basically devised a plan. Well, my co-workers did. I was down with whatever, trying to be the comic relief because it was a very stressful situation. As I mentioned, everybody wanted to get home. And I guess being in stressful situations where it seems kind of hopeless is not all that foreign to me because of my experience in 2005 with Katrina, where it was a hopeless situation and it seemed like at every term it was going to get even more hopeless. That this seemed small because at the end of the day, we just had to figure out how to get out of Dallas and back to our home. In 2005, we just had to get out of the city, not knowing if there was a home to come back to. So I kind of took the high road of thinking that because it was starting to bother me. Not gonna lie to y'all, it really was. But anyway, the story ends like this. So we get a hotel room. They devise a plan to get us a rental car. We get a rental car. And we each had our own hotel room, by the way. We get a rental car and we drive from Dallas to Memphis airport so we can get the college car and do all that jazz. And the nightmare was over. Like, that's why you'll probably see pictures like this one. This is where the nightmare ends. It just ends there. But being stuck in Dallas was not in the cards. And in the whole Dallas adventure, again, that was a week. So that was from, I recorded that video the day before my birthday in May, along with the Elden Ring and stuff. I got all that stuff edited except for the one that happened I just posted. And I left the day after Memorial Day, and I got back a week later. That said, what happens next is kind of a snowball effect, just life happening. So that's the Dallas trip. I'm gonna put that behind me. That's behind me. So, I still have probably one or two more memes that I want to try to do, but I'm not gonna do it. It's over with. But that was the Dallas trip in a nutshell. Anywho, so that was Dallas, and you would think, okay, well, you got back a week afterwards. So Tosh, where were you this entire time after that? Listen, first I had to get caught up with work, so there was a day or two that I kind of, besides getting caught up with work, I did some extra stuff for work outside of work at home to get me all caught up, which is why there was no video recordings or edits then. And then I got sick. Yeah, plain old sick. It's just how it is. Your boy got sick, and there was not much your boy could do. And after being sick and then recovering, there was a lot of other events. And so here I am making this follow-up video about a month after I probably should have been making more. In that video that I made before, I wanted to try to get that out so that way the next video that I record would be me explaining the rest of my journey through Master Duel, but that didn't happen. And sometimes it bees that way, And anyway, the next thing that I want to go ahead and talk about in this video is some stuff coming up with H.U.B games that I like to do. Content wise, I'm still going to go ahead and try to make content. My plan now is to try to be more consistent and to basically try to have enough done to where I can push out content at least once a week, maybe twice a week as we go on, but we'll see. The biggest thing that I want to talk about in terms of content will be for the Master Duel thing. As you heard, I did restart a new one, and I am going to play. I'm going to look at the game, which is using the cards that I earned and possibly crafting cards that I could think of that could be helpful if need be. But I'm not just going to go out and spend all willy-nilly. Whatever I earn in terms of the gems, I'm going to get that. And my overall goal for that series is to evolve where I have a deck that grows with me, and I eventually rise the ranks from rookie, as you saw, but from bronze to master using the combined might of the deck or whatever I've earned throughout playing. which is going to be a grind and a struggle, but it might actually come easy depending on what happens. And you know, I'm not making any limits for myself on that particular series, because there's no limits in real life. When you think about how real life is, you know, if I have the money, I can go out and buy this or whatever other packs I want. So if it's available on Master Duel, and I have the gems, I'm gonna buy it. If I see a card that I could probably craft, or if I think about a card that I probably need and I have to craft for it, I'll craft it. I'm gonna try not to cheese it, but I'm gonna try to craft for it. You know, just things. I'm basically gonna play the game the way it's intended, but the emphasis will be on checking out my growth from here to here, with hopes that possibly I can get to Master 1 by this time next year. And the big kicker will be is that there's probably going to be a lot of things. Like, for example, I loaded it up recently and for an update, and then I got a couple of freebies that the game gave me. So there's that won't be shown. But the next time I play, I'll probably explain that again. So I have that. Elden Ring, I do plan on continuing that. I was just a bit too slow on getting that, because I wanted to try to get through a good chunk of that before the DLC came out, so that way I could continue playing and then, you know, include the DLC, in which I now can, because the DLC has been out for a couple of days now. So, actually not a couple of days, maybe a day or so now. So, at the time of this recording, so there's that. I'll be able to do that. So we got that going. The Baldur's Gate series, we'll pick that back up, and I'm also going to finish my Diddy Kong Racing series. But I got a lot of things that I started and put down, and I got a lot of things that I want to add on to and explore with, because I think I mentioned this once or twice before. Is that I would like to continue to play video games that are either inspired by or based off of tabletop games, because I think that would be fun. And I think I have a couple of ideas to do things like recently. Help me! I went out and picked up this from Barnes & Noble. Well, you guys can't really see it all that well. Let me see. I wish I could mirror it for you, but it's just Gloomhaven. Yeah, Gloomhaven. And see, let me see. Let me help. Nope, that's not gonna help either. Let me see. Can I do it that way? Nope, not gonna help. Nope, nothing's helping. All right, but it's just Gloomhaven, and it's not like the full Gloomhaven. It's just a module, I guess, of it. And I think, you know, I might just one day figure out a way to set that up and run around of that, you know, for a video. But ultimately, trying to get to a point where I'm playing more while there is popular video game content I'm probably going to play, because I like Baldur's Gate, I love Elden Ring. I'm having fun with Diddy Kong Racing and playing that for you guys, so I want to finish that. If nothing else, I'm going to definitely finish that. Even if I stop playing retro games or other games, I want to finish that at least, so that way I have it done. And then, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, stuff like that. So I want to do that, but I want to keep it in the spirit of board games, RPGs, and things like that. Things that I can replicate in real life or being part of in real life. Things, you know, stuff like that. So I'm rambling again, but yeah. So that's that. That's the content in a nutshell. So be on the lookout for more stuff. I'm gonna post more things later, and I'm just ultimately in the end, I'm gonna try to have fun with the channel. So no matter what I post, the ultimate goal here is to get H.U.B Games' name out there, to eventually get enough to where H.U.B Games can, even if it's a little change at a time, can accumulate some money. I can put it in a bank, let it grow there, and eventually get H.U.B Games from its small infancy stage to something bigger. So it's a community of people with a store where that community can gather around and enjoy themselves. Because there's not a store no closer than an hour from where I am, unless you speed, in which case, other than that, I only got one more major thing I want to talk about, and I'll stop rambling to you guys for this long. Streaming. I've been slacking on that, and I need to pick up on it. And so I've decided once and for all, and it's probably going to be once and for all, that I'm going to stream about once a week, either on a Wednesday or a Saturday for a few hours a week. And I'll upload, like I did with the last few times that I streamed, I'll upload the full VOD of that stream on the channel. So that way you guys can kind of catch up on it if you just don't have Twitch or whatnot. But I want to do that once a week because I think that'll open the door to the one thing that I've been meaning to do this entire time on this channel. Play games with you guys. Yes, playing games with the computer is fun. Playing games on the computer is just challenging. It's great. You see me playing Elden Ring. You see me play all these other games. I get my butt beat on Terraforming Mars offline. You see me struggle through Diddy Kong Racing, Gunstar Heroes, any game that I've been playing. You see me struggle through it, and I have a blast, even though it doesn't look like it. I'm having a blast. But ultimately, to help build the gaming community that I like to have, I like to have more interactions with you. Give you guys a chance to play games with me, I with you, we can get down. And even though the selection of games that we might have to play are limited, as the community grows or as my ability to create content grows, it may grow with it. But my hope is that at some point, these streams, there may be a stream or two where I decide to do something by myself. Or streams where I do stuff for myself, not just a stream or two, but streams where I do stuff for myself because I don't have things planned out. But I would hope to at least make one of these streams, one of these once a week streams, something where while I'm streaming, you can pop on in, pop on out, pop on in, pop on out as you need to. And that is the hope. And I'm going to try to make that happen a little bit more often than not. And yeah, because I want us to game. I want us as gamers to get together, unite, and play games. Just chill out, play games, and play games in a way that we can let our hair down. We're not playing against the computer whose ultimate thing is to optimize how well they play and doesn't have a personality, but people who, whether or not they optimize things, they have a personality that shows in the game and that you can, I don't want to say manipulate, but it interacts with the game in a way. I don't know how to best put this, but it's like, how you play Monopoly and you have that one cousin or that group of people that you have at the Monopoly table that I can trade with them pretty easily if I make a reasonable trade. This person over here, I have to basically sell my soul ×2 to get them to give me the freaking brown properties at the cheap brown property at the beginning of the game. That, and that factors into the game, no matter how much you may think about it. And that includes other board games and tabletop games. So that's why I want to have that experience. Okay. All right. I think I've gotten enough out of this update. It's been a hot minute, and I gotta edit this and try to get this uploaded. Along with the next things, I think the next thing I'm gonna try to record before I go to bed tonight will be some master dueling. I may do some of that. And I'm sorry that you guys can't hear the music behind me. Just a tiny peek of the song. See, I'm listening to this right now. Breath of Fire 2, the first fighting theme song. Put that back out there. So, I'm listening to that in the background. I was listening to the It's Going Down from Persona 3 Reloaded as well. But anyway, so if it seemed like I was going with the music, or if I'm being loud, it's because there really is music playing in his ear. So I don't have these headphones on for nothing. Music is really playing here. The sound that you hear now. Not to say. Anywho, let me know how you've been in the comments. Let me know how you feel about the Dallas trip. And let me know what you think about the possibility of being able to join me on streams later on. I think one of the first things I'm gonna probably try to stream together will be Jackbox games. So I think that's a whole lot easier for me to reach a different wave of people. There might be a couple other games I may try my hand at getting people to join me in. And then there's anyway, we'll work it out, but I think the first one's probably going to be Jackbox. I've been meaning to play that for a while. I don't have 10, so that goes to show you. The last one I have is 9. I don't have 10, but still, it'll be a good time, I think. So, okay, I've rambled. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, be sure to check out all things Hub Games. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share videos that you enjoy. With others, try to help us build this community. Share when I post out. It does help. The more I reach certain goals, especially like view goals here on YouTube and subscriber goals here on YouTube, the easier it is for me to start. When I reach those goals, it'll make it easier for me to move on to that next level. So, like, comment, subscribe, interact with me, kick it. We're gonna kick it. Anyway, until next time, gamers, I am the ever thankful Tach Butler of H.U.B Games, saying thank you so much for listening to my rambling. Gamers, let's game. Do 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 do.